Hey guys, how are you all doing today? Lovely to see you. And today I'm going to be continuing with my series on how to play chess. So, if you watched the last episode, I taught you how the rooks work. Sorry, I'm a bit tired right now. If you watch the last two episodes, you'll also know what the pawns do, so I won't go over them right now. Instead, we're going to move straight on to the next piece, and probably the most confusing piece in the game to understand at first, because of the way it moves, and that is your knights. So a lot of people refer to these as horses, just as the rooks are sometimes referred to as castles, but no, these are knights, if you want to call them the correct term. If you don't want to call them the correct term, up to you, but that's what they're called. And the knight moves in a funny way. I'm going to completely clear this board off so that I can just have the one knight here. And the knight moves in a very funny way, actually. The knight moves in an L shape. So the knight moves 2 squares in one direction and 1 square in another. So that would be a viable move for the knight. So he can move from here to there, as you can see, marked by the arrow here. He can move from those spots there. Obviously he can jump back to that space, but from this space he could also move to there, so he could go 1, 2, and then the 1 in the direction of the left. He could also maneuver around it a different way, so he could go 1, 1, 2, and obviously make his way up there. And he can also do that to the same for the opposite side. The knight can also go 1, 2, and then up 1 to end up being able to go to this spot here, or this spot there. He can also go one like that, and he can also go like that. And last but not least, the other ones, he can go there, or he can go to that spot there. So all in all, the knight has very good mobility. So currently that knight is protecting 2, 4, 6, 8 squares, and then its own square as well. So that's 9 squares it protects, which is a lot. And that's very useful. And it's even more useful when you find out that knights disobey one of the first rules that you learn about chess, which is that pieces usually cannot hop over one another. So, for instance, we'll use our example from the last video once I've finished clearing off this board here. Our rook here actually can't move anywhere because it can't jump over its own knight, and it can't jump over its own pawn. You might think about saying that you might start saying, well, the knight's blocked in, it can't move anywhere because, you know, we're looking at all of its possible L shapes, like that. We're looking like that, that's a possible L shape. That's its only possible L shapes from there, because obviously we're reaching the edge here. So we're looking at them all, and they all involve going over. Well, they do. And that's fine. The knight actually cannot go to this spot here because it's directly occupied by a pawn. So it would be like taking your own pawn. And not only is that a stupid move, but it's also illegal. So don't do that. But you can jump over your own pawn. So so you can go 1, 2, and then whichever square you want. So a common opening would be 1, 2 like that. The other knights might follow 1, 2, and 1, 2 like so. One thing I should make clear just before I carry on: white always makes the first move in chess, so it wouldn't be like, it wouldn't go in that exact motion. It would be, so obviously I've just gone black knight moves, so I went this knight here moves out to here, then this knight to there, then that knight to there, then that knight to there. However, it would be white that starts, so it might go in a different order. So it would actually go white knight, then it would go black knight, then it would go white knight, and then it would go black knight, just to be a little picky. But yeah, really that outlines the basics of the knight. There's nothing much more to it. It can be used in checkmates and blocking things in. So let's do the checkmate of the white king this time, because we hardly ever do that. And we could say, if we have, I'm just trying to think now. Okay, so if we have one of our knights are usually, well, knights are always used in conjunction with other pieces, which is why it's very hard to determine how to do this. But if we had both of our knights lined up like that, and we are going to have to use a rook to show this as well. Because I don't think two knights can checkmate on their own. But as you can see, if we do our L-shape outline for this top knight here, he's protecting these two squares. He's obviously protecting all of the other squares around him, but these are the squares that I'm focusing on. And this knight, just kind of here, is protecting those two squares. So currently, the king only has one square that he can move to without being, without the threat of being hurt. In fact, I'm going to have to use two rooks here to show this, without the threat of being hurt. And at the moment that there are only two squares that he can do that with, and that would be the square directly in front of him, and the square that he currently is on, is where he's safe. And then we are going to use a method where that we used in another video. In fact, no we're not. We're going to so in the other video about the rooks, we used the method of the knight, and this knight would go here first instead of going here, but we're going to put this knight here first, which forces the king to move up like this. In fact, no, that's even wrong. We'd have to do the move that we use, so really the knights are just blocking off some extra area here instead of the rooks having to do it. One thing that you will see, if I show you this, is right now, that board is called a stalemate. So white has no more pieces that it can move, because obviously the king can't move anywhere. But the king is safe there. He's not being threatened by anyone. He's not being threatened by the knights, if you work it out, and he's not being threatened by my rook. So at the minute, that's a stalemate, and you can't get out of a stalemate. A stalemate is a draw by both sides, and unfortunately it's a very boring way to end the game, but it's a way that lots of games end, because the king ends up getting cornered, but he's still safe, and obviously white still has to take a turn but how do we take turns? So, like, how's the white going to move here? Because he can't move forward, because the rook will get him, and he can't move to his sides, and he can't move to his diagonals, because the knights will get him. So that's a stalemate, so that was pretty cool to be able to show you, and I'll just quickly outline where all of these can go, so I can show you that this king is actually safe. So as you can see, none of the arrows are on the square that the king's on. So I will make all of the squares that are in danger, that mean danger for the king, all around here. So that's danger, that would be danger, that would be danger, and they're all the danger squares for the king. And remember that the king can only move one square in each direction, so if he moves one square in any direction there, he's always going to be hitting a danger square. But this square here, you can see is green, and that's a safe square. So he's in a stalemate there, and there's nothing you can do about that. But I'm going to end this video here, because I feel like I am yammering on a bit. But if we quickly clear the board, reset it, and we'll clear the boards of any piece that we have not learnt yet, like so. Whoops, we learnt about pawns, so we're going to put the pawns back on in a second, but we're going to get rid of all of these other pieces here, and we're going to replace our pawns. But yeah, that's going to be the end of the video. So as you can see, our chessboard has gotten a little bit more full, and to be fair, we know all of the ins and outs of the kings now, so I think we can say that we know the kings, so we're going to put them on as well. So really, we're only missing 3 pieces, and 2 of them are identically the same. So next video, we're going to be talking about how the bishops move, and then we move on to how the queen moves, and then that's it. That's all you need to know about how each piece moves. And really, that's all you need to know about how to play chess. But yeah, you can learn about that in the next episode if you just carry on watching. If you carry on watching the series playlist, because all of the videos should be coming out at the exact same time. So if you carry on watching the series, you should be able to learn how you play chess in its entirety. But anyway, I want to give a huge thank you to watching, and I'll see you all later. Bye bye.